Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can probably tell by the title, I will be reviewing the W7 Bare It All Raw palette, and I will be featuring some of my favourite products from W7. So whether you would like to find out if Bare It All Raw palette is worth your money, or if you need some recommendation when it comes to W7 products, then I suggest you keep on watching. Before I get started, let me show you what the palette looks like inside. We can immediately tell this is meant to dupe, basically copy the Huda Beauty Nude Rich palette. There's 3 different shades. W7 also came out with 3 different shades. I chose the darkest one because it seemed like the most interesting one. I was actually tempted to buy all 3, but personally I just don't need that. The individual palette costs $4.95. If you want to buy a bundle which includes all 3 shades, it is for $12.95. Let's zoom in and let's get started on this eye makeup review. Because I want this review to be honest and fair, I'm going to prime my lids with the tried and true Lasting Perfection concealer from Collection. I love using this as an eyeshadow base. Let's get started on the palette. The Huda Beauty Nude Rich palette costs £27. I have tested the formula before. I haven't tested out that particular palette, but I know the standard of Huda Beauty eyeshadows, and if this comes close, you're saving like £22. I'm going to start off by taking this lightest shade in the palette. It's like a milk chocolate kind of colour. Very happy so far. I'm taking it on a fluffy brush. It's fairly hardly pressed. There's no kickback so far, but I do have the eyeshadow on the brush, which is good. It's a good sign. I don't have a plan for this. I'm just gonna play with eyeshadow, and already I'm pretty happy, you know, with these cheap, let's be honest, it's cheap. The packaging is plastic. For a eyeshadow palette to cost $4.95, it's cheap. You sometimes sit down to film these reviews and you're like, well, this might be a journey, this might be hard work, but so far this eyeshadow doesn't need that much work. I like it a lot already. I know it's just one shade, but look how good that is. Okay, I'm going to save the pinkier tones for the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the darker brown on a smaller brush. This had the tiniest bit of kickback. There's a lot of eyeshadow on the brush. I'm also going to put this in the crease. Oh, this looks a lot warmer than I expected it to be. That's not a bad thing. I love warm tones. I'm basically blending the shade into the previous one. I'm even going to take that fluffy brush I used for the previous shade to blend it in. 2 shades blend in together. Lovely. No skipping. Nice pigmentation. I'm actually surprised. And finally, the darkest brown in the corner here. Again, no kickback in the pan. A good amount on the brush, and again I'm just building, just adding depth in the crease. Guys, I am shocked. These work perfectly. It doesn't take that much effort to blend these together. They don't grip awkwardly. That was my main concern. They blend into one another and they look so good. Ooh. Time to cut the crease. I thought I was going to do a half cut crease. I might do a full cut crease. I haven't done that in a very long time, but you know my favourite way. I'm going to clean my lid first with a Q-tip and some makeup remover, and now I'm going to take my Collection Lasting Perfection concealer and a flat brush, and I'm going to apply it on that negative space I just cleaned. I'm going to take a little bit of that tackiness off. So I just took a fluffy brush and I'm tapping that concealer in. I personally gravitate to this gold, but I want to incorporate all three of these if I'm honest. I'm not too sure about this one, so I'm going to swatch it. Ooh, it's essentially like a pink gold. It's a duochrome. It looks pretty. Let's swatch this darkest. Again, it's a duochrome, quite dark with like a plummy purple reflection. That one's pretty. They're all very, very shimmery. They swatch really nicely as well. I'm gonna... Ooh, I just stuck my nail into one of the shades. Fantastic. Oh well, it'll be fine. I'm gonna take this shimmer in the corner there on my finger. They seem very buttery, therefore it's probably the easiest to apply with a finger, and it is nice and foily. Let's see if I can pick it up on a brush. So I'm taking a flat brush. Ooh, it's picking up, you guys. This review so far feels like it's sponsored. I swear it's not. I really like the shimmer. Obviously with a flat brush I have a fair amount of fallout, but that's normal when you try and apply shimmers with a precise brush. To be fair, if you try and apply any eyeshadow with a flat brush, with a very precise brush, it tends to pick up quite a lot, so there's a lot of fall down. Let's clean it up immediately. And for the remaining portion of my lid, I'm going to try and dust off that flat brush, and I'm picking up that gold. Oh, this one is a little bit harder to pick up, but it is picking up fine. I don't have any spray on this. The brush is dry. This gold seems to be reflecting pink as well. To test this palette out even more, I'm going to flip my flat brush and I'm going to use that darkest shimmer. They are very buttery, lightly pressed, just and I'm going to put that darkest shimmer on the outer third to test it out, to give it a bit more dimension. That one's pretty too. And now I regret not buying all three. Again, there's some fallout with the shimmers, but I have used a flat brush. For now, I'm done with this eye. I'm going to catch up and I will be right back. I'm going to be real with you. I did not expect this to go this well. I am blown away by the quality. Okay, but it is time to do the base. I'm going to give you my first W7 recommendation. This is the Legend Lasting Wear Foundation. This is meant to be a Estee Lauder dupe. I like it a lot. The only thing I hate is the fact it doesn't have a pump because it's difficult to dispense the right amount. As the first layer of my foundation is setting, I do want to build it in my problematic areas because it does build nicely, but it just needs a little bit to set first. In that time, I'm going to do my brows. I'm first going to set my brows with the Revolution Brow Soap. And then I'm going to take my pomade and a thin angled brush to draw individual hair strokes to mimic hair. I'm using Dip Brow Pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills in medium brown to do that. I've been really enjoying these fluffy, bushy brows lately. And now I'm going to add a second layer of the foundation in my problematic areas, which are my cheeks and my jawline. Okay, let's bronze a little bit, and you know me, I can't say no to cream bronzer. W7 has actually got the Chanel dupe. This is Makeup and Glow Bronzing Base. It looks like this. It's not my favourite product to use, but this was a gateway for me to use cream bronzer. Let's bronze a little bit. This is actually quite warm, as you can see, but it is a nice base when you do want to bronze with powder, which is what I'm going to do after. It's just the right amount of pigmentation. Can't go wrong with it. I have never had a foundation break up from using this product on top of it, so highly recommend. It's time to conceal my under eye. I'm going to use Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer again. To set my under eye and to dust a little bit of powder all over my face, I'm going to use my trusty RCMA No Colour powder. My third recommendation is the Honolulu bronzer. I have the loose version. If I'm being honest, I would probably prefer the box version, but I found the loose version before I did the one in the box. It's essentially W7's dupe for the Benefit Hoola. As you can see, it can be a little messy, so again, go for the boxed one, the pressed version. And I'm going to use this powder to bronze a little bit more, to sculpt. This has a perfect amount of cool and warm tones in, so it can be used by many different skin tones, and it's perfect to kind of bronze and sculpt at the same time. Time to blush. I actually depotted my W7 blush. I believe this is Orion. I think they were called candy blushes. Those blushes are nicely pigmented. Look at that. Just quick little dip and I'm blushed. And finally, my gateway to W7 products, the Glow Commotion Shimmer Highlighter Eyeshadow. This is a dupe for the Luminizer from the Balm. This is so pretty. Gives you the most delicate but blinding at the same time look. It's so good. Tap it in to blend it in. So good. Your skin looks wet and it's like, gives you like this natural glow, but very good glow. And since this is also an eyeshadow, I'm going to take a small brush and highlight my inner corners with this as well. I might even highlight my brow bone with this. Oh yeah. This is what I needed. To finalize the base, I'm going to take my trusty XX Revolution Hydra Fix Mist and spritz my face a little bit. Time to finish off these eyes. I'm going to take the Renaissance Flick from Revolution and draw a wing liner. And because I want this foxy eyes effect, I'm also going to elongate the inner corner by drawing in a very thin line. Back to the eyeshadow. I'm going to start off by taking this burgundy reddish tone in the middle. A little bit of kickback, but again, reasonable amount. I'm taking it on a pencil brush and I'm going to stamp this shade on my lower lash line. I'm taking it about 2/3 of the way in from the outer corner to my inner corner. I'm going to take a bigger pencil brush and blend the edges. And on that remaining 1/3 in the inner portion, I'm going to take the shade in the middle. It's very similar to the palest shade, however it's just a little bit more pinky toned, a little bit darker. Last thing I want to do on my lower lash line is to take a definer brush and a little bit of that darkest shade, the very dark brown, and I want to stamp it close to my lash line. This is going to be a dark makeup look, but hey ho. Time for some mascara, time for some falsies. And to complete the look, for my lips, I'm going to use an affordable brand. I'm going to go for Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Lipstick in Driver. Okay guys, so here it is. This is the final look I created with the Bare It All Raw Pressed Pigment Palette from W7. I highly recommend this palette. This has pigment, this has blendability, the shimmers are really nice, You can use your finger to apply them. You can even use a brush if you want to use a brush, because they pick up nicely. You don't need a setting spray. They blend, they build. I built like 3 eyeshadows on top of each other, and they sometimes can get a little patchy with some brands. This didn't do that. It was such a pleasure to work with. I actually low-key regret not buying this set of 3, which is for $12.95 I believe. Bargain. This has blown me away. I did not expect to like this so much. There's one thing only that I somewhat dislike about this palette, is that all 4 shimmers are duochrome and they all shift pink. So it would be nice to have a shimmer in there that maybe reflects some other colour rather than pink. Other than that, honestly guys, go out and buy this. $4.95, less than a $5 for this, and it's so good. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this review. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. I hope to see you next time.